RBT family, what's the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back. Back, baby. Back with more NFL action. How's everybody doing? How you feeling? Well, I hate to have to say this again. It is still not a victory Wednesday for you, dog. I'm going through withdrawals. Man. It feels like it's been too long since I've had a victory Wednesday, but it's all right. I'm going to be all right. It's all right. Season ain't over. Season ain't over at all. Yeah, season ain't over at all. We got a big week coming up for sure. I'm sure, we'll get into all of that. But for the rest of y'all, how you doing? How you feeling? I hope everybody's feeling good, feeling great. I'll tell you what now. I was going to say the overtime game, but that's a Sunday night, not Monday night. But no, we had some good games this past week for sure. We definitely had some good games. We've got tons of stuff to talk about. Also, there's just a lot of news. Just a lot of other moves and roster additions and subtractions, things of that nature. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the NFL as well that we'll get a chance to, dive into and talk to as well. Some of the moves made, some moves that maybe still need to be made, and all that good stuff. Get in here, sit down, enjoy yourself. If you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and have yourself a nice adult beverage. I'll have one while I wait. There we go. Feeling good, feeling great. For sure. Now, don't forget the rules when you get in here. All right? Holla at the three amigos. That's like, that's share, that's subscribe. All right? Don't forget Big Cousin. Big Cousin, tell a friend. All right? Like, share, subscribe. Holla at Big Cousin, tell a friend. Right? Then tell your friend to tell a friend. You feel me? Matter of fact, you might as well tell your friend's friend to tell one more because we need all of them in here, man. You hop in, tap in with your dog, sit down, get rid of in the penthouse. We got adult beverages. We got refreshments for everyone involved. Come in here, sit down, talk a little bit, drop something in the chat, all right? And we're going to get it going. We're going to have a good time for sure. For sure. And then I tell you what. Now, it pains me what I'm going to have to do here. It pains me to my core what I'm about to have to do here on the Real Ball Talk with Willie Jack 24/7 channel. But it's time. All right? It's time. It must be done. I cannot avoid it. I've got to have a sit-down talk with Still a Nation. All right? And y'all going to have to forgive me because y'all know this is an equal opportunity platform. We show love and we talk to all 32 teams, all 32 fan bases are welcome. But this one hits closer to home for your dog. It's got to be said. So here we go. Still a Nation. Welcome. How you doing? It's your captain speaking. Okay? Yeah. President of the Southwest Division, Dallas chapter, William Jackson. Ranking officer. Yeah, that guy. I'm the guy down here, okay? It's all good. Everybody sit down, relax yourself. We got some stuff to talk about. We got to talk about some business here now. What are we going to do? And I'll tell you what, because I've long been a proponent. Okay, that's going to bother me. I've long been a proponent of maintaining head coach Mike Tomlin as the coach of the Steelers organization. And I'm here to tell you, and I'll get this out the way as well. I'm not saying that I'm off the ship. I'm not saying I'm off the boat. I'm a huge Tomlin fan, right? Let me make sure y'all see me good. Make sure y'all see me clear. I'm a huge fan of Mike Tomlin. And honestly, I think a lot of the criticisms are fair, right? A lot of the criticisms are fair. But then also in my mind, I think some of these criticisms are, I don't want to say overblown, but I want to say some of these criticisms they're had without consideration of appropriate context, right? And that's why I've always been a little more reticent to just crash and burn, get Tomlin out of there. And the truth of the matter is that there's been a contingent of Still a Nation that's always had that agenda. They, for whatever reason, at the time when Cowher decided to step away, right? And I'll tell you, I think what a lot of it stems from is that at the time when Cowher stepped away, we had two quality in-house candidates in office, or excuse me, in the building and organization that a lot of the fan base was excited about one of those guys stepping up and getting an opportunity. The first one being, of course, our offensive coordinator at the time, Ken Wisenhunt. And then secondly, I believe it was our offensive line coach, Russ Grimm, at the time. He was getting a little head coach buzz, but he was a guy, of course, that threw his hat in the ring for the head coaching job with the Steelers. Now, I think, honestly, as my memory serves, I think realistically, Ken Wisenhunt was thought to be the heir apparent. I remember feeling at that time, and I wanted it at the time. I didn't know Mike Tomlin. Nobody knew Mike Tomlin at the time of this hire. We have to keep that in mind, right? Also, he was like, what? He was younger than me when he became our head coach. Mike Tomlin was like 34 years old, maybe 34 when he became our coach, right? So he wasn't a known commodity. I wanted Ken Wisenhunt, much like I feel that probably 80% of Steelers Nation at the time wanted Ken Wisenhunt, our offensive coordinator. Well, Rooney's get blown away by a young kid, 34 years old, defensive coordinator from Minnesota, and he comes in and blows their mind. He gets the job. Now, mind you, right, he was only the defensive coordinator in Minnesota for a single season. Now, in that single season, as him being the defensive coordinator, the Vikings had the number one defense in the league that year. So he's got some chops. Now, also, before Coach Mike Tomlin took over as DC in Minnesota, he was a longtime member of the staff of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, namely brought in by Tony Dungy. And so he cut his teeth down there with Tony Dungy, with Monty Kiffin, right? He's got to coach and be in the room with guys like Rondy Barber and Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks and John Lynch, an assortment of others. We know those early 2000 Bucs team, right? And so now he came in after that, that Super Bowl. No, wait a minute, because he got hired by Dungy. So no, he was there then. That means he would have been there for Gruden's Super Bowl run. I'll have to check those numbers. But be that as it may, just giving some backstory, he cut his teeth under Tony Dungy, right, as his head coach, Monty Kiffin as his defensive coordinator. I've told you some of the names that were in that room as well. Then he goes to Minnesota and has a fantastic showing, number one defense in the league that year, and then he blows the Rooneys away in an interview and gets that job. And probably undercuts, I'm thinking, a job that was probably going to go to Ken Wisenhunt. At least in my little fandom mind, that's what I was thinking. Now, also, let's keep in mind that this wasn't just Ken Wisenhunt was a viable candidate. Ken Wisenhunt ended up becoming the head football coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, let us not forget that just 2 years after the Steelers spurn in-house Wisenhunt for outside hire Mike Tomlin, well, both those coaches meet in the Super Bowl, which is, of course, my personal favorite Super Bowl of all time, right? But we met at a memorable Super Bowl, and it was one of the top 10. I think there's 2 of the top 10 plays of all time in Super Bowl history were made in that game. And that's going to be Super Bowl 43, if memory serves, the Steelers against the Cardinals, right? I think the single greatest play in Super Bowl history happened in this game. And I'm talking about the 99-yard pick six interception return made by, I believe he was reigning defensive player of the year at the time, James Debo Harrison, right there at the conclusion of the half. If he gets tackled, right, that's halftime, we're kicking off. And then the way the game unfolded, that touchdown is the difference. That touchdown's the difference, right? And so massive play, memorable play. I still, it's one of my fondest football memories of all time. I say all that to say, Steeler Nation, I know what I'm talking about. All right. I'm not just one of those guys. I didn't just get here when the Triple B's got here. Nah, man. I earned my stripes, man. All right. I earned my stripes. I earned my stripes in my youth, man. Those Chris O'Connell days. You know what I mean? I had to go through all that. All right. I remember the Slash Cordell Stewart days, right? You know what I mean? I remember that. All of that. I've been here. All right. On Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, we're playing the Buffalo Bills and Big Josh Allen, reigning MVP. Y'all know how I feel about Josh Allen. And we'll talk about the game, and I guess this will segue us into the game for sure. So we'll get there. But this, for me, was the first true moment where, like, I had concerns like, oh, man, and I'm not even saying myself, but it felt like for the first time for me, Because I'm not seeing that there hasn't been whispers, there hasn't been complaints. Like I told you, there's been a contingent of fire Tomlin haters from day one. You know what I mean? The same folks that still want to credit his Super Bowl victory as an extension of a Super Bowl from Bill Cowher 2 years before. I don't want to do all that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do all that. Was a lot of the roster the same? Yeah, it was, right? It was a championship level team 2 or 3 years before. They maintained a lot of that roster, but this was a different team. Different coaching staff. Bruce Arians, right? Promoted from, I think he was a wide receivers coach. Yeah, I think he was the wide receivers coach during Bill Cowher's time with the team. And then he promotes to quarterback coach and then offensive coordinator. This is all done under Mike Tomlin. And then, of course, we know the success that Bruce Arians ended up having when he was not retained on staff. And then he went on to become the interim head coach for the Indianapolis Colts with Andrew Luck. Luck had some of his best success under Bruce Arians. They had a fantastic run in Indy. I think he was coach of the year or a candidate. Then he leaves and gets the official head coach job himself up for, again, the Arizona Cardinals, just how fate would have it. But Sunday for me was the first time that I really can say that for me, that the Mike Tomlin contingent of the contingent that is against Mike Tomlin, fire Mike Tomlin, get Mike Tomlin out of here. Mike Tomlin is responsible for everything going wrong, whether it's Jonnu Smith being laid off the ball on a damn goal line sneak play or, fourth and short sneak play, or Darnell Washington being laid off the snap and letting Montez Sweat get the jump on him around the edge for a sack against Mason Rudolph. It doesn't matter. Dropped interceptions, holding penalties, it all gets pointed back or dumped at Mike Tomlin. But Sunday against the Bills was the first time where I was like, you know what? No, this is real now. It's real. Like, that noise isn't necessarily just outside the building. And on the inside, it's more so than just that original contingent of just Tomlin haters that have just been here from day one, waiting on their moment. It was bigger than that. There were fire Mike Tomlin chants on Sunday in Pittsburgh, in our state. Like, that doesn't happen in Pittsburgh. That should be happening in Cleveland. Do you realize we had fire Mike Tomlin chants on Sunday in Pittsburgh? We haven't heard fire Kevin Stefanski chants in Cleveland yet. That's crazy. They played Renegade. Now, the game out of hand, right? The game at this point, when it was played, Buffalo was in well control. We couldn't do anything at all. We couldn't get out of bed, let alone get out the door. We couldn't get out of bed, right, in this game, especially offensively early on, right? Renegade plays. They booed Renegade. You know what I mean? And a lot of y'all, if you're not a Steelers fan or you just don't know, you don't know what these things mean. But, like, hey, man, this very well could be it. This very well could be it. And the thing about it, because it's one thing to lose, but it's the way we lose. Like, inept. That's how we lose. We lose looking inept in all facets of the game. You know what I mean? In all facets. And so at a certain point, yeah, it falls on the big man. You know what I mean? At a certain point, you're the guy who's been empowered and imbued with the power to run the organization, you know what I'm saying, vis-a-vis the ownership, right? So you're the guy. At the end of the day, it all falls back to you. You know what I mean? It really does. It really does. And so I'm not gonna lie, man. And here's the thing about it. The outlook doesn't look great. And there's a lot of things that go into where we are today. A lot of misses in the draft, a lot of misses in free agency. Darius Slay was just released or waived today. Yeah, I believe that was today. Or no, excuse me, possibly yesterday, which was honestly overdue. And I was a fan of Darius Slay. I enjoyed him as a player from afar, right? In his time in Detroit, I loved him as a player with the Eagles over the second stint of his career, right? The first stint with the Lions, he goes to the Eagles. He's going to retire an Eagle. Super Bowl champ, multiple Super Bowl contender, right? But he was a star. He was an all-pro before he got to Philly. So I've been a fan of his game. And I'll tell you another thing as well. I think it was 2 years ago where there was a chance that Darius Slay may have been available. I wanted the Steelers to go get Darius Slay then, right? But of course, he stays in Philly, woo-de-woo, and now we get him 2 years too late. And it was a bust. Darius Slay, and I love you, dog, because I enjoy your personality. Boy, you was getting fried every way from... Boy, you got fried, died, and laid to the side any and every time the ball was in vicinity. And anytime you were in coverage. Now, I'm not saying every single big play was a fault of Slay, right? I'm not saying that. But, man, look, I'll tell you what. It was hard to find good film. His tackling was terrible. He routinely took poor angles, attacking the inside shoulder on tackles, missing those tackles, and then guys get it. So there's been complaints there for sure, right? He's released. Now, the Bills did claim him, right? We struck out trying to find a good wide receiver 2. We've been trying for 2 years. And now this isn't, because it takes two to tango. You got to have a dance partner. There's only so much Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin or whoever can do. If the guy doesn't want to go there, they want to go there. You know what I mean? Rashid Shaheed, we made the exact same offer that the Seahawks made. Well, he chose the Seahawks. It wasn't that we didn't do what we could do to get it done. Brandon Ayuk, that deal was signed, sealed, and delivered. And then he exhibited poor judgment, stayed his ass at home, and now look at him. You know what I mean? Now he's pouting, and he just threw away a $120 million contract. He could have been here. You know what I'm saying? So we've done things to try to make it happen. We just haven't had any luck, right? Then now today, we picked up Adam Thielen off of waivers. Desperation. But honestly, at this point, I'll take it. Calvin Austin isn't getting it done. Roman Wilson isn't getting it done. DK Metcalf isn't getting it done. So I'm not going to fault bringing in Adam. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. Like, why not? Why not? Because we've got Jonnu Smith stealing all the snaps from Pat Freiermuth, right? And countless others. And then he's not on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. If anything else, Adam Thielen catches a route adjustment, right? When Aaron Rodgers reads pressure and gives a route adjustment, he's signaling, doing his thing. Well, Adam Thielen is a guy that'll read that. He'll break in instead of out, right? And so I'll take it. But no, I got to tell you, man, like I'm worried about the future for Mike Tomlin. Like, I haven't been worried about Mike Tomlin's future until this moment, until Sunday. We had fire Tomlin chance. I've only ever had that when it was fired Matt Canada, which was long overdue. And now Mike Tomlin is getting the Matt Canada treatment. My God, man. My God. And I don't know, unless we got some type of miracle drug, unless we got a bottle of Mike's secret stuff from Space Jam in the back room somewhere, and everybody powers up, because I don't know reasonably how Mike Tomlin escapes if we continue the collapse that it looks like we're on the precipice of right now. We're 6-6. We're still tied for the division lead with the Ravens now, who made up a 4-game head start that we had on them, right? Thankfully, they're just as bad as us. And so that's why we're both still tied at 6-6 for the division lead. And we played this week, right? And so barring winning the division, which at this point, the way we looked on Sunday, I can't trust us to beat anybody. Winning season record be damned. I can't trust us to beat anybody at this point. And so not making the playoffs after having a 4-game head start, and with the league, the way the league has unfolded this year, all the heavy hitters are down. Patty's in the same boat as us. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are in the same boat as us. They're also 6-6. But they have a league MVP, Super Bowl winner, in his prime. They're in the same boat as us, right? But they're not inept. Yeah, I mean, so it's troubling. It's troubling. So I had to get that off my chest. I feel like that went a little longer than I thought it would as well. So I'll apologize. Not in advance. I'll apologize post-fact. Who's in the chat today? Rini was the first one in the building. I appreciate it. She said, what's going on? Rini? Rini said it's time to put A.A. Ryan in retirement. Yeah, it's looking like it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and talk about that Steelers game since I did this whole soliloquy talking about the Steelers and what we got going on. So I'll go ahead and phase into or segue into the game itself. But Aaron, man, it's yeah. We'll talk about it. But I think you're probably right. This is probably it. This is probably the last ride. My dog Miles in the building, man. He said, seems like Brother Willie making sure he covers the Steelers before the check get the building. Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey, look, we started 7 o'clock. We started same bat time. It's just a different bat channel. 7 o'clock every Wednesday, bro. Hey, 7 o'clock every Wednesday. You got to get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? Now, honestly, I'll tell you the truth. I really just did that on the fly. I was like, you know what? It's been bothering me. I had to get it off my chest. Dog. I did. You know what I mean? And I thought it'd be better to, I could use that as the soft intro. You know what I mean? I just use that as the soft intro before we get into the games. You know what I mean? While we had a little time, that's all. Hold on. What did he say? He said they should have gotten a QB to build on. But that's the thing, bro. It takes 2 to tango. You know, now we missed on Kenny Pickett. That's what really, there's 2 big draft blunders for me. And these were made by Kevin Colbert, right? Kevin Colbert was our longtime GM. Kevin Colbert might have been GM before Tomlin got there. I want to say he was a longtime guy. He is the guy. Now, regardless of what y'all say or how you feel about Jalen Hurts, it is what it is. Kevin Colbert, because the building, Mike Tomlin wanted Jalen Hurts. These are, the Steelers talk. Mike Tomlin wanted Jalen Hurts. There's a big contingent in the building that wanted Jalen Hurts at the in the middle of the second round. Well, instead, Kevin Colbert goes with Chase Claypool, big body wide receiver from Notre Dame, right, over Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts ends up getting drafted by the Eagles instead, I think 2 picks later. I mean, just right. I want to say it was roughly within 3-4 picks of each other. We go Chase Claypool, Eagles go Jalen Hurts, and then we know the history from there, right? That was an organization-saving draft pick right there, right? And then we hang on. We still trying to ride Ben out for those last few years. Ben probably hung on for 2 years too long, right? But we gave him his due. We tried to let him go out on his horse. You know what I mean? So we held on to him a little long, right? Then the draft of Kenny Pickett, the forced pick of Kenny Pickett. Now, even the story behind that is that Kevin Colbert was out at this point, right? It was like, hey, man, we're going a different direction. But the Steelers being the Steelers, you know what I mean? Instead, we let him go out on his horse. We let him go out on the shield. Hey, man, here this last draft. This is the one. This is the last draft, man. We're going to let you have this last one. And so, and it's no secret. Like I said, Steelers fans, people in the know, we know, right? Kevin Colbert was determined he wanted his swan song to be getting the next franchise quarterback. He's the guy that drafted Ben Roethlisberger, right? So he wanted his swan song to be the next franchise quarterback. That's going to be his opus as he exits. So he spent bad money on Kenny Pickett, man. You know what I mean? And so we got burned there. And then we get into the whole first round draft pick. You got to see when you give that much, when you invest that much capital, you got to give a guy a chance to see what he is, right? Kenny also got hurt. He got a little banged up. That drug it out. We didn't really get a chance to see, right, what was going on. And then, of course, we know how things played out. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and then back to the market, and then 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Now, one more thing that I would say to that point, like you said, is the Steelers, I think, definitely did put too much stock into 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, right? So I think they did overvalue Rodgers. I will agree there. But at the same time, like the other available QBs at the time, Geno Smith. And also, Geno Smith wasn't a free agent. The Raiders had to spend a 3rd-round draft pick to get Geno Smith. And look at Geno, man. And y'all know I love Big Geno, man. When he wasn't writing back, he writing back now, though. Yeah, you writing back now, bro. You know what I mean? Seahawks, the Raiders had to give up a 3rd to get Geno. We wasn't doing that. We gave up a 3rd to get DK. Right? 2nd or 3rd. No, yeah, 3rd. Yeah, we gave up a 3rd to get DK because we were moving off of George Pickens. And then even the George Pickens, right? That move. Right? But as much as I hate it, I understand it. You know, as much as I hate it, I understand it. And so, there wasn't, Daniel Jones? We was going to take a swing on Daniel Jones? But Daniel Jones also had his pick, right? As well. But then also at the same time, hindsight is going to be 20/20, so maybe Daniel Jones would have been an improvement on Aaron Rodgers, maybe. But Daniel Jones is also playing with a guy who was an MVP hopeful for about the first 8 weeks of the season that's kind of setting the table for him. Because now we're seeing Daniel Jones return back to what we've known him to be, right? And so would that have been a better improvement? Like, so there's a lot of factors that go into play. Like, because you got to keep in mind as well, bro. Like, if you a clear-cut good quarterback, you on a team. You're not available. If it's obvious that you can play quarterback at a high level, you're not available, bro. You're not available. And so you're already bargain shopping. And if you gotta overpay Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones signed that contract with the Colts. No, you know what? I take it back. I think his contract's manageable. It's still more than we paying Aaron Rodgers, but I think it is manageable. But also keep in mind, like I said, Daniel Jones got to choose where he want to go as well. You know what I mean? But no, it definitely goes to show, man. Like it's only so much you could do without having something valuable at that position. And now, is it all on A-Rod? No. Now, he's not playing great. He's holding on to the ball too long. That Chicago Bears game where he took – no, the hell with that. The Buffalo Bills game, the first play of the second, you hold on to the ball and take a sack and fumble, they pick it up and run a touchdown. First play of the second half. You know what I mean? And then, matter of fact, let me go ahead and put the game up there because we're going to go ahead and talk about it. So let me go ahead and at least put it up there since we talked about it. So first play of the second half, you take a bad sack. You take a bad sack, Aaron Rodgers, period. You fumble the ball, they pick it up, they score a touchdown. Now the lead's gone. Now the lead's gone right there in that moment. Now it's a tie ball game. No, now the lead's gone. It was 7-3. Now it's 10-3. Now it's 10-7. He gets injured. You know what happens the very next series? Mason Rudolph comes into the game. And on his second snap, he throws an interception into triple coverage. My God. On Mason Rudolph's second snap, I think the first snap was either a handoff. It was his first pass. His first pass in relief of Aaron Rodgers, who had just went out from a sack fumble that resulted in a touchdown. His first pass is into triple coverage, an interception. Buffalo scores on that play, or scores on that short field possession as well. You see what I'm saying? So now we go into halftime with a 7-3 lead. Our first two we ran 4 plays and gave up, or we ran 4 plays and essentially cost ourselves 14 points. Right there out the gate. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, yeah, man, it's terrible. And you know what's going to piss me off, man? It's going to piss me off when I got to watch Mike Tomlin go to the Giants, go to the Titans, and revamp them and make them a contender. Go to a Super Bowl. Because look what Andy Reid did in Kansas City. You know what I mean? I know a lot of y'all Chiefs fans think that Andy Reid just been the coach of the Chiefs his whole life because y'all ain't been there but 7 years since Andy and Patty started cooking. I know how a lot of these Chiefs fans act. You know what I mean? But y'all might not know Andy Reid was he was the head coach in Philadelphia for 15 years? Andy Reid went to 4 or 5. It was 4 or 5 straight NFC championship games before they finally broke through and went to the Super Bowl and lost against the Patriots. This is the prime highlight era of the Patriots cheating scandal. These are the years where they were sneaking people into and sneaking people in the stands to sleep overnight and be able to record your plays and practice the next day. All the things, man. That's the Super Bowl that Andy Reid lost. Mind you, that was T.O.'s year or season with the Eagles as well, where he breaks his leg, breaks a bone in his leg, comes back for the Super Bowl and still can't be guarded. T.O. came back 6 weeks off of a broken leg and gave the Patriots $120 and a touchdown on about 8 catches. You know what I mean? Andy got fired from Philly. If Andy can be, and here's the thing about it as well. I've always been a huge Andy Reid fan. Me and my dog Chop, we was debate coaches, bro. I'm telling you, I had to pull receipts. I had to go search my Facebook. Even these Chiefs fans, my dog Hoppy, Nick Hopkins, right? You one of them ones, man. Y'all used to tell me how overrated Andy Reid was. I'm like, man, y'all bullshit. Oh, Andy Reid a hell of a coach. And now look, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I fully expect Mike Tomlin to go. If Mike Tomlin gets out of our building, he's going to be Andy Reid. It won't be long before he's a guy sitting right back at the top. You know what I mean? So I really believe that. That's why I'm scared to let him go. There's some things that need to be done, some changes need to be made for sure. But I think still Mike is, I don't know, man. I don't know. There's few things that would piss me off more than watching Mike Tomlin go to the damn, I don't know if he's going to the Giants, but let's say he goes to the Titans and rebuild. You know what I'm saying? Like, or just any number of places, man. He goes somewhere else and then, you know, boom, that team's in the championship game in year 2. Because that's what he did for my Steelers. You know what I mean? That's what he did for my Steelers. Super Bowl in year 2. Shit. Man, hey. I ain't forgot, Mike. I know you still got the goods, man. I know now you do got to recalibrate. But yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a sad day for me, man. When it happens. My dog Day One Gabriel in the building, man. He said, "What's going on, RBT fam?" Hey, he said he's out to catch. He's out to dinner, but he's want to tap in, man. Hey, I appreciate you, homeboy. Hey, that's why you Day One Gabriel, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I appreciate you, homeboy. Hey, enjoy the family time with the wife and the kiddos, man. If the kids is there, you know what I'm saying. If the kids not there, then go ahead and get a little loose. Yeah, man. You and the old lady go ahead and get a little loose. Enjoy yourselves. Man. I appreciate you, homeboy. I appreciate you, man. Sis in the building said, what is going on, man? What they do, Weebles, man? What's going on? Hey, man, look at this guy. Y'all so garbage. We got the same record as your weak-ass Cowboys, man. Man, we got the same record as your weak-ass Cowboys, except y'all got Dak Prescott, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. You got what? You got 3 defensive free agents, Quentin Williams, a top 5 tackle in the league. Y'all got all these toys, and y'all got the same record as us. I got 42-year-old decrepit Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? I got an O-line that coming into the season was a bottom 5 O-line in the league. You know what I mean? I got Jaylen Warren, who was a free agent running back who's been backing up at a mid-backing Najee Harris to start his career, man. I got DK who can't catch a cold, and I got a bunch of other receivers' names that y'all don't even know. And our record is the same as your weak-ass Cowboys, man. Matter of fact, what's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all, J2 Trill? What's wrong with y'all? You should be ashamed of yourself. Why your record the same as mine? That's crazy. Y'all 6-5-1? Y'all 6-6-1, 6-5-1? With a $60 million quarterback, 2 top 5 receivers in football, and y'all that's got the same record as us? Oh, excuse me. We leading our division. Y'all ain't even doing that. You're not leading your division. You got the same record as us, and y'all got all those weapons. Boy, y'all should be 10-3. But if I was you, you should be ashamed. You should be ashamed, man. That's crazy. Hey, you ain't lying, dog. DK, and that's the thing too, bro. Like the scheme is, man. Look, half the time, if the play's there to be made, then there's poor execution, and then if there's good execution, it's just a bad scheme. So it's like we can't win one way or the other. DK's definitely not getting as much separation as we want. But then the thing about it is, though, the cold part about it is, though, J2 Trill, if he does get open or he does get situation, we don't get him the ball. So it's like either he's not getting open or he's open and we ain't getting the ball, dog. We can't win for losing, man. We can't win for losing. Pretty Tony said Aaron is a cancer. And you know what, man? I felt the same way as well, especially with the stuff that was coming out of the locker room in Green Bay. I'm not going to count the Jets. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But Green Bay. Because Greg Jennings came out and had some things to say. I think Donald Driver came out and had some things to say. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, guys there was like, nah. And we saw it as well. Now, one thing I would say is that in his time with the Steelers, he hasn't necessarily like that. Like on the field, he's definitely like he'll be obviously dejected. You'll see him huff and cuss and whoop-de-woo and do all this. So everybody knows that it wasn't his fault. He'll do all that. But as far as like, he's not been calling guys out in the media or just skirting blame in those ways, that those are things that we would still do in Green Bay. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't been doing that with us, but also with time comes wisdom if you lucky. So he knows his reputation and he's conscious of it. And that was the big thing when he first got to our building, is that like guys like Cam Hayward and, you know, other leaders on the team, everybody talked about how like Aaron came in, he was up front like, hey man, look, I know everybody's heard a lot of stuff about me. You know, just do me a favor, man, get to know me for yourself. You know, let me build a clean slate here. And he's done that. He's done that for us. You know what I mean? And so the only thing cancerous about him now is holding on to the ball for too damn long or trying to scramble. I don't know what happened to Aaron Rodgers that he turned 42 and he wants to convince the world that he's still 32. The way he's running around and holding on to the ball like he is. But you know, that's a valid comment. That's a valid point. Man, he said, all you know is Arthur Smith better not be next. Nah, man. Nah, it ain't gonna be Arthur Smith. And that's the thing, man. I don't even know who I want to see in that chair next. You know what I mean? I don't even imagine. I don't even know who I want to see. I don't even know who I want to see. You know what I mean? I don't even know, dog. I don't even know. Hey, come on, man. Come on, sis. Come through, man. Come through, man. Get the comments on the board, man. Yeah. Look at y'all, man. We 50 minutes in. Comments just getting up, man. Hey, man. Hey, Keandre, man, I hope you all right. You know what I'm saying? I hope you doing well. You know what I mean? I miss you, dog. We miss you, man. We about an hour in and the comments just hit the top, man. We need you. You know what I mean? Shout out to my dog. Let's see, shout out to Miles in a bit of good morning. Ooh, lady, you must have worked the dough. You must be fresh off 16 hours. That lady said, good morning, Big Nation family. And she said, Labor, do your thing. Have a blessed show as always. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Hey, I'm telling you, I was like, you gotta be tired. She said, good morning. Hey, good morning. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, she said Aaron needs to retire as well. Yeah, I mean, like, so I think this probably it. I ain't gonna lie. I think this probably it. It's probably it. But yeah, no, we're gonna get into these games though, man. And matter of fact, I know I rambled a little longer than I probably needed to, so I'm gonna try to jump in and make up some time. Let's start right here at the top. San Francisco on the road against Cleveland. Shadur Sanders making his first career start at home. In this one, when it started, I thought there might have been a chance. I think San Francisco came out, scored. Cleveland answered, and then Cleveland went for 2 and got it and took an 8-7 lead in this game. So I'm like, okay. And then, San Francisco settled in and kind of took control of the game. But all said, let's see what happened here. Brock Purdy, mediocre day, 168 yards and a touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown. C-Mac, 50 yards on the ground in a rushing touchdown. Jawan Jennings had a receiving touchdown as well. Nothing of note in the game. Shadur threw for 150 yards, had a touchdown and an interception no interceptions. Harold Fannin Jr., rookie tight end for the Browns, and their leading receiver, he had 40 yards and caught that early touchdown pass from Shadur. But no, San Francisco takes control of this game and doesn't let go. Myles Garrett, who's, he's chasing that sack record held by TJ Watt and Michael Strahan, 22.5. He's 5 sacks away. He was 5 sacks away going into this game. He did pick up another sack in this one, and he got that sack on Trent Williams, beat him clean. Little stutter step, Euro inside, and went got a sack on Purdy. So he had 1 in this game, so he should be 4. Yeah, he should be 4 away from the record. We got 4 weeks left in the season, and so we'll see. We'll see if he gets there and matches or breaks that record for sure. And then there was a little news in this one. Jawan Jennings, the receiver from the Niners, apparently he's a guy that talks way reckless on the field, because there was a couple players, namely Shelby Harris from the Browns, that had a lot to say about Jawan Jennings in an interview. And what I tell you, I heard Shelby Harris called that man a hoe in a real life interview. And he did it. I ain't never heard nobody professionally called a hoe. He's like, yeah, I just want to say this, clear the air. Jawan Jennings is a hoe. That's how he started the interview, the post-game interview. I'm like, sheesh. But yeah, apparently, man, Jawan Jennings be out there talking crazy. And I guess he was getting under the boy's skin, man. So, and what's crazy, because once I seen that post game, I was waiting on like some audio to leak. You know what I mean? You know, the live hot mics in the game. So I was like, man, I want to hear some of the stuff he was talking. He must have said what Kevin Garnett said to Carmelo Anthony that time when Carmelo had to chase Kevin Garnett into the locker room or something like that. He must have said something wild like that. I don't know, but whatever it was, man, it ruffled more than a few feathers. Jacksonville on the road at Tennessee. They get this done 25-3. We're not gonna waste no time right there. We're gonna keep pushing. Now this was a good matchup, and we talked about this on Sunday, man. Shout out to my dog Tom. Houston at Indianapolis, head-to-head matchup with that division right there still in flux, the AFC South. So the Colts, reeling a little bit. They've had a couple tough losses. They had a tough loss in this one. They lose at home 20-16 to the Texans. The Texans defense, a top three. Yeah, I'd say probably a top 3 unit in football. So, they show up and they show out and they get this victory. And so the Colts have lost a couple close games to quality opponents, though. A close overtime loss to the Chiefs. This tough loss against a defense playing just as good as just about any defense in the league, right? Another one of those. And so they've had a loss earlier in the year to the Rams as well. So out of their 4 losses, I'm trying to think who their 4th one is. Out of their 4, 3 of these were to pretty, they're not bad losses, right? They're not, there are no good losses. I'm not going to say that. But these are respectable losses. They're not just showing up and getting mollywopped like my Steelers at the crib by the Buffalo Bills. You know what I mean? It's not like that going on. They lost tough games to quality opponents. And so that's one thing that I did want to say there just to get some context. As far as the game itself, C.J. Stroud did return 276 yards, no touchdowns, threw a pick. Nick Chubb had a rushing touchdown. Nico Collins had a good day. 98 yards, had a rushing touchdown as well. On the other side, tough slate, and it's the same thing that we've talked about this whole time. When a lot of y'all wanted Daniel Jones to be in consideration for MVP, I said the same thing then that I'm saying now that we're all seeing now is that no, he can't drive the boat. He can't steer the ship. He can't drive the bus. All right? He can't. And so if you can contain or box up or make the day long for Jonathan Taylor, then Daniel Jones hasn't shown us that he can come through, step up, and lead the team to victory. And that's been the case, right? And that's been the case there. So, but we'll see. I'm very curious to see how this AFC South shakes out because as much as I can't stand them, Jacksonville, who we just talked about, they just beat up on the Tennessee Titans, of course. But Jacksonville is fully in the thick of this as well. And actually, I think Jacksonville is ahead of Houston. And then I think both are a game now behind Indy, even though Houston has the tiebreaker over Indy at this point. But they're both now closing that gap for sure. And this division is wide open. This division is wide open. It's a 3-headed, wide open race between Houston, Indy, and Jacksonville. And so honestly, I'm not sure exactly who's going to come out on top at this point. Matter of fact, if my dog Terrible Tom was in here, he'd let y'all know, but I let him announce himself if or when he shows up. New Orleans on the road at Miami. Miami gets this done 21-17. You know what? Highlight for this, man. Shout out to my dog Minka Fitzpatrick, man. Minka was he's another guy, man. We made some moves. We let him go in the offseason. We used him as the piece to trade for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, right, from Miami to start the season. And so he had a big play in this one. New Orleans was going for 2. It's 17-19 in the fourth quarter. New Orleans is going for 2 to tie the game up, and Minka Fitzpatrick has an interception on the goal line of the 2-point attempt, and then runs it back for a touchdown, runs it back for 2 points. So it was a pick 2 instead of a pick 6, since it was a 2-point conversion. But that ended up being enough to hold off the Saints, and Miami wins that game 21-17 for sure. Let me see, keep it moving. Atlanta on the road against the Jets, and the Jets get a dub. And, shout out to the Jets. Shout out to Aaron Glenn and those Jets as well for just not rolling over. Everybody knows that y'all in the process of tearing that thing down. You're going heavy in the draft. You got, you've built up that draft capital. There's no incentive to win because, the writing's on the table. Everybody knows the time it is there. But shout out to the Jets and shout out to Aaron Glenn because this is a reflection of himself, right? That the team hasn't just laid down. You know what I mean? They're still competing, and not only competing, they're still winning games. Now, mind you, Is it in the best interest of the team realistically to win, or to win too many more, but to actively, win more than one more game? You know what I mean? Probably not. Probably not. You know what I mean? We saw We saw Lovie Smith fired in Houston for winning the last game of the season. It cost Houston the number 1 draft pick, which is why Carolina had the number 1 pick and selected Bryce Young, and then Houston at number 2 selected C.J. Stroud. Now, realistically, I think Lovie was out of there already anyway. They weren't going to hold on to him. They were already, I think D'Amico was still going to be the guy. But yet and still, that's what we dealt with. Or no, forgive me. Yeah, no, that was that year. Exactly right. And so, yeah, but no, kudos to the Jets for sure. Let me see if there's anything of note there to talk about. Yeah, A.D. Mitchell, right? A.D. Mitchell, the receiver of the Jets now, recently traded from the Colts. He had fell into the doghouse there. He was a part of the deal that had the Jets send All-Pro corner Sauce Gardner to the Colts in exchange for a first-round pick and A.D. Mitchell. He has his first career 100-yard game and his first career touchdown in this one as well. So shout out to A.D. Mitchell. Let me see. Arizona at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay gets this done 20-17. And I'm happy for the Buccaneers and for Baker Mayfield. And then also they're slowly but surely, starting to kind of get a little healthy, at least at the skill positions, right? So Bucky Irving, he returned to the lineup. Chris Godwin's been back for a couple games now. I know Emeka Egbuka, right? Rookie receiver, set the league on fire to start. He got a little nicked up, but he's been back, him and Godwin. And now I think they announced today that Mike Evans they opened the window for return from IR for Mike Evans as well. So he's likely to be back here sometime over these next 3-4 weeks. That he should be, they probably would like to get him back into the fold as well. So these Buccaneers who have fought tough this whole time, Baker Mayfield has taken a beating, right? And has worked a lot of magic, especially in the first quarter of the season, keeping them in games late, finding a way to win or steal those games or take other teams down to the wire if they're going to lose. And so it's a, welcome sight to see them starting to get a little healthy, especially in those weapon room, man, with feels like Baker's been having to fight left-handed for a lot of this season. And then let me see on the other side what's going on. Jacoby Brissett's been balling now. Since Jacoby Brissett took over in Arizona, Jacoby Brissett's been playing damn well. Jacoby Brissett had 300 yards in this game, 2 touchdowns. He did throw an interception. Trey McBride is playing fantastic football right now. He had 82 yards and a touchdown as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. had 70 yards in this game also. And so the Cardinals are playing a lot better, especially offensively, with Jacoby Brissett being behind center now, but still necessarily haven't broken through and won a lot of games, but they've been competitive in most, right? They had this close loss to Tampa Bay. They had a very close loss game to, I want to say, the Packers, right? I know Micah closed that game out with like 2 sacks on that final drive or something like that. That really kind of put the nail in the coffin. But they were competitive in that game, I want to say, if I'm remembering right. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But they've been competitive is all I want to say, man. So kudos to Jacoby Brissett. And also with Kyler, the writing on the wall, Kyler's not going to be there next year. Yeah, I'm curious to see, if Jacoby's able to kind of maybe hold on to this job next year or to start next year. So I'm curious to see how that folds out for him. Let me see. Here we go, man. Upset City. Los Angeles Rams on the road to Carolina, and they go out there and take a hot L. Carolina gets this done 31-28. And this is easily the upset of the week for sure, right? But as quiet as kept, the Panthers have been playing competent football. And much like I said about my dog J2 Trill, I was talking about his Cowboys, or my dog Miles talking about his Chiefs, right? Because the Cowboys and the Chiefs are, honestly, I don't think anyone at all would argue that they're much better teams than my Steelers. Well, we all got the same record. We're all sitting right there at 500. I don't have Patty Mahomes. I don't have Dak Prescott. You know what I mean? But we're all right there. And so the Panthers, similar to my Steelers, they're right there in that mix as well. I think actually did this win make Carolina 7-6? Or did this win bring them to 6-6? But point being, they're right there in the mix as well, but they're doing it with Bryce Young, right? In a room full of rookie or young receivers within their first 2 years in league. Ted McMillan's a rookie. Xavier Legette is in his second year and hasn't found his footing yet. Jalen Coker is in his second year. He just got back from injury, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Jimmy Horn, the receiver 4, he's a rookie. You know what I mean? So they're doing it with a very young team, right? And they're doing it with a stout running game. Chuba Hubbard has a big game in this one, probably his best game in about a month, right? Rico Dowdle, still very competent. That defense is playing damn well, right? And then, of course, the highlights in this game was got a couple interceptions off of Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford had been playing fantastic football. Matt Stafford, and I was talking to my dog Chop just last night. Matt Stafford, honestly, he's probably taking over. He's taking over my personal MVP consideration. I know he was probably there for a lot of other folks. You know what I mean? But I didn't have him there. I've got him officially there now. And of course, when I do, now he's throwing interceptions left and right. But prior to this game Sunday against Carolina, Matt Stafford hadn't thrown an interception in 10 weeks, right? So he had an incredible streak going on. And I think, I don't know if it was this Carolina game or if it was the game before, but I think he had just broke or tied, but I think he broke the record that Tom Brady, I believe, had set for consecutive touchdowns thrown without throwing an interception. I think that number was like 27. And I want to say Matt Stafford either tied or broke that record, either maybe the first touchdown in this game or maybe one of his touchdowns last week, but he had just set that type of record. He was off to he's still having a fantastic season, but that's an incredible pace. And so eventually, yeah, you expect eventually that'll come to an end. But I'll tell you, the interceptions that he actually threw in this game were terrible. These were terrible. The first interception, he throws it in the end zone, and he throws it he just throws it to the Carolina Panthers defender. There's a Rams defender vaguely in the area. I mean, roughly, vaguely in the area. The pass was nowhere near that guy or I don't know if Matt Stafford was off on his no-look passing. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but it's a terrible throw. He threw just a jump ball to the Carolina defender right there in the middle of the end zone. And so that takes a score off their board as well. But then it also ends his streak, and there's just a silly interception. I don't, and honestly, I should have went back because I don't believe that ball got tipped or anything. It was a bad ball and worst decision, and that's an interception. Then same game, you know what I mean? He comes back, he's late on and out, and shout out to Mike Jackson, man, cornerback from the Panthers. But yeah, you cannot. One thing you cannot do, you cannot be late outside. You cannot be late on an outbreaking route towards the sideline because that's a pick six all day long. And so he's late. Mike Jackson jumps it, interception, and takes it to the crib. And so now, after going 10 weeks without any interceptions, setting or breaking the consecutive touchdown to 0 pick record, and then on the road in Carolina, which is honestly a game that this is a game you're expected to win, especially when you've been as dominant as you have been. I think in most people's power rankings, the Rams are the team sitting at the top, right? And so they've been performing damn well, dominant. They really have been. And so you go out there and you really kind of lay a little bit of an egg. Now, I say all that, this is a 3-point game. This game was still competitive up to the end. I think Carolina got a late touchdown with like less than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter to really take the lead back in this game. And so, but did just want to point that out as far as what Stafford had going on. He finished with 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, had the 2 interceptions. He also lost a fumble in this game, so a 3 turnover day. So rough day for Matt Stafford for sure. Blake Corum had a big day, 80 yards on the ground, 80 yards receiving, and also had a receiving touchdown. Kyren Williams had 70 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Devontae Adams as well, man. How many touchdowns is Devontae Adams up to on the season? I need to ask my dog Chop because he had 2 more touchdowns in this game. He had 4 catches, I want to say for roughly 60 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I think this might be Devontae Adams' 3rd or 4th multi-touchdown game of the season, right? That may be some type of record. Because I think it was a slow start for Devontae and Matt Stafford getting on the same page. And then maybe 10 weeks ago, maybe somewhere around No, maybe not even a full 10 weeks ago. Maybe like within these last 7-8 weeks. Because I think in these last 7 or 8 weeks, Devontae had something like, I was going to say he's got double-digit touchdowns over just these last like 7-8 weeks. But see, I can't remember how many he has. I believe he scored somewhere between 10 to 12 touchdowns over these last like 6 to 8 games of the season. And so him and Stafford are definitely clicking, especially in the red zone, where Devontae Adams is looking unguardable in the short red zone. He's always had a fantastic release package as well, and he's got that nice shiftiness. Hey, J2 Trill, man, I appreciate you, bro. He's at 12. There we go. He's at 12. And that sounds right, because I was thinking somewhere in that 10-12 range. So he's got 12 right now. And I want to say that maybe 10 of them have came like in these last like 6-8 games, which is a fantastic pace. You know what I mean? Because let's say if he's got 12 touchdowns and 10 have happened over the last 5 weeks, that's average. He's averaging 2 a game. Or if they've happened over the last 6 weeks. Oh, it keeps getting better. And there's more. Correction, 14 touchdowns. Yeah. Now I feel better because I was trying to remember that stat. The fact that he's got 14, okay, yeah, I feel better because I'm pretty sure I saw a stat that he's got something like 10 or 12 touchdowns in like the last 6-7 games, maybe 8 games. And I felt like I had to say 8 to just kind of stretch it a little bit. It may be these last like 6-7 games, he's got 10, 12 touchdowns, right? And he's got 14 on the year. So what there's 4 weeks left in the season. I mean, so he's got a chance to touch 20. He does. Now, will he break the record that Randy Moss broke? Randy Moss broke it in 17 games. Mind you, when Jerry Rice set that record in 12 games, that's what we forget. Jerry Rice had 22 touchdowns in 12 games. Come on, man. Come on. The league went on strike that year. You know what I mean? The league went on strike that year. The season ended early, or the season started late, so it was a short season. Whatever the reason was. Jerry Rice had 22 touchdowns in 12 games. You know who was the MVP that year? John Elway. John Elway and the Broncos that year, I think they were 8-7-1. I think Bronco threw for like 2,400 yards, and I think he had something like 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. He was the MVP. Instead of Jerry Rice, I think the Niners had like a league best 10-2 record, and Jerry set an NFL record with 22 touchdown receptions. He did it in 12 games. So, you know, that's outrageous. Jerry definitely should have had an MVP that season for sure. The receivers don't get love for MVP because it's hard to overlook the quarterback and praise the receiver is a lot of the rationale behind that, which I get to a certain extent, right? But Jerry having 22 in 12 games, like, nah, that should have been an MVP season. Shout out to J2 Trill, man. He said 11 in the last 6 games. Man, I'm telling y'all think I just be talking crazy? Y'all thought I'd just be talking crazy, man. I know a little something. There we go. 11 touchdowns in the last 6 games. That's crazy. Let me put that in perspective. I want y'all to guess, and I ain't looked this up. I just get to talking, but I'm pretty sure. I want y'all to guess, or maybe I'll have to look it up. I think Calvin Johnson had 1 double-digit touchdown season in his Hall of Fame career. 1. Calvin Johnson was 6'5", 240 pounds, 40 pounds, ran 4.3, jumped 44 inches, unguardable, punt coverage to defend him, right? All that stuff, all the things we know, right? I don't know. I think Calvin Johnson had 1 double-digit touchdown receiving season in his career, right? With all those gifts. 1. And he had Matt Stafford throwing on the ball. He had prime Matt Stafford. We forget this old-ass Matt Stafford. This ain't prime Matt Stafford. Prime Matt Stafford was throwing the Megatron. I think Megatron has 1 double-digit touchdown season in his career. He's a Hall of Famer. He's top 5 in a lot of people's book. All time. 1 double-digit touchdown season. Devontae Adams has 11 in the last 6 games. That's outrageous. That's fantastic. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to just think about, like, that production. That's nuts. You know what I mean? So, yeah, shout out to Devontae. Shout out to Matt Stafford as well. Hey, shout out to J2 Trill as well, man. doing some of that leg work for us, man, pulling these numbers for your dog, man. I appreciate you, homeboy. I appreciate you. Let me see. Minnesota on the road at Seattle. Minnesota, man, this was brutal. I think the only team that's worse off than my Steelers is the Vikings right now. That's how I feel. I think the only team that has less hope than my Steelers are the Vikings. Because even the Browns can maybe be excited for maybe Shador, right? They can still be excited about that defense and Myles Garrett. He's chasing an all-time sack record. There's still something to be excited about. You know what I mean? The Vikings are a full-fledged dumpster fire right now. That's what it looks like. Not dissimilar from my Steelers. Max Brosmer makes his rookie start debut, and we talked about it on Sunday. We didn't expect much. But as bad as J.J. McCarthy played, and one of the things that we speculated or talked about on Sunday was like, man, as bad as J.J.'s been, this Max guy, he may look better by default. He may look better by default because it can't be any worse than J.J. McCarthy right now. Man, Max Brosmer said, somebody hold my beer. Somebody hold my beer. Y'all thought J.J. was bad. Wait till y'all get a load of me. Wait till y'all get a load of me. The interception he threw, he's getting sacked. Shout out to Tank Lawrence. Tank Lawrence was an animal in that game. He's getting sacked. He like underarm flicks the football going down, throws it at two Seahawks. You know, he throws it at two of them. One of them catches it, runs a touchdown, pick six. I'm like, all right. Justin Jefferson finished with 0. Justin, and this is the thing as well about this game. Both defenses were still impressive, even though the Vikings got spanked 26-0, but there's still something to celebrate, or not celebrate, but an impressive nugget in the game, let's say. Jackson Smith and Jigba, JSN, has been torturing defenses and specifically cornerbacks for 13 weeks this year. He's been torturing boys on live TV. What he did to Derek Stingley Jr. should be punishable by the law. Ain't no way you should have Derek Stingley out here doing the stanky leg like this, man. Ain't no way Derek Stingley should be getting turned around and you scoring touchdowns and dunking on the goalpost. Ain't no way. That's Derek Stingley, right? Jackson Smith and Jigba and Justin Jefferson as well. Combined, they had 2 catches. Was it 2 catches for 4 yards combined between the two? And in my mind, these are 2 best receivers in football. In my mind, these 2 best receivers in football. Jackson Smith and Jigba for the best receiver in football this year, and Justin Jefferson, in my mind, is the best receiver overall in football over these last, 3 years? At least these last 3. How long has he been in the league? Because from year 2 on, he's the guy. He's been the guy. You know what I mean? Y'all can pull my footage. Y'all can pull my footages, right? And so for both defenses to completely negate these 2 guys getting the ball. Now, also in fairness, Justin Jefferson had Max Brosmer trying to throw the ball. And then before that, he's had J.J. McCarthy trying to throw the ball. So it's a hard year for him already anyway. You don't expect him to lay up a goose egg, though. I don't expect him to get goosed. And then on the other side, Brian Flores, B-Flow, that Vikings defense, right? Because my game plan would be as well. If I'm going to lose to the Vikings, everybody but JSN got to beat us today. And it happened. It happened, but still, that if I've got to lose to the Vikings, if I've got to lose to the Seahawks, and we were probably going to lose anyway. Max Brosmer playing the quarterback, and we haven't been playing good. We're probably going to lose anyway. But if we do lose, I don't want to lose watching JSN drop 50 on us. You see what I'm saying? And so that was an interesting nugget. Both of those guys, 2 combined catches, and I want to say 4 total yards, I believe. Let's see. Moving on, man. The Raiders on the road against the Chargers. Chargers win this game 31-14. Let me see if there's anything noteworthy to talk about in this one. One thing I do want to shout out in this one. Yeah, not too. No, you know what? Kamani Vidal had a big day. Justin Herbert, pretty mediocre. 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 an interception. But Kamani Vidal had a day. 126 rushing yards and a touchdown as well. Kudos to him. He's their RB4? Because they start the year with Ricky Omari Hampton. He's injured. Najee Harris blows his hand or his eyes up on 4th of July. He starts up banged out. Then he goes down for the regular season as well. And then I think before Kamani Vidal, they turned to another fella as well, if I'm not mistaken. He's running back 3 or 4, but he turned in a big day. 126 yards and a touchdown. Kudos and shout out to him. Ladd McConkey had a touchdown. Quentin Johnston had a touchdown in this one as well. And then for the Raiders, more of the same. Geno threw 165 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. There was a highlight-style touchdown catch by Brock Bowers in the end zone, the short right end zone, if I remember right. Fantastic catch. I don't know if y'all seen the replays or highlights of it. He's covered pretty good by the Chargers defender. He's running, I'm just going to call it a square out in the end zone on the right end zone, right? I'm just going to call it a square out. You know what I mean? But anyway, he's pretty blanketed. Geno throws a ball, looks like he's just throwing a safe ball in the dirt because Brock is covered. Brock, when I tell you Brock has got a guy on this arm, he reaches down and snags this ball with one hand, probably 4 yards from the turf. You know what I mean? And then brings it in as he's falling down with one hand, scores a touchdown. Fantastic catch. Fantastic catch by Brock Bowers. So I want to shout him out. If you haven't seen it, it's worth watching the replay. It's an impressive play. Shout out to Brock Bowers. Sunday Night Football. Now, this game turned out to be a damn good game. I don't think any of us imagined going in. This turned out to be a good game. Denver on the road at Washington. They escaped with this victory in overtime, 27-26. But this was a good game, back and forth. Marcus Mariota played. I think Marcus Mariota played one of the better games that I've seen him play for sure. Now, my dog Chopper tell you, I wasn't a huge Marcus Mariota fan. I wasn't a huge fan of his game. He showed up in this one. And they almost got it done. Bo Nix to the victory goes to spoils. We'll talk about the winners first. Bo Nix goes for 320 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. R.J. Harvey, 30 yards, 35 yards rushing, two touchdowns in this one. Cortland Sutton has a touchdown as well. Also a big game from Evan Ingram. He had a big catch in this one, I should say. I think he had 80 yards total rushing, but he had a big catch in this one. Hey, J2 Chill said this might have been the game of the week for real. And, bro, I ain't gonna lie. You probably right. Because now you probably right. Yeah. Yeah, I think so, bro. I think so. I think you're right, man. As far as like the most entertaining game, like actually, like when we watch the games, I think for sure you're right. Good call. And then Mariota for the Commanders, like I said, they get the overtime, but they do fall short. 294 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, threw a pick. He also added 55 yards on the ground. Chris Rodriguez, running back from the Commanders, he added a rushing touchdown in this one. Zach Ertz had a big day, had over 100 yards in this one. Scary Terry, back also from an injury stint. He's been beat up and banged up all year long. He's back in this one. He goes for over 100 yards and has a touchdown as well. And let me see. Debo didn't score, but Debo had a couple big plays in this one as well. And so the Commanders, had it going. And mind you now, Denver is another one of those teams where Denver's a top 2, 3, 4 defense in the league as well. J2 Chill just beat it to a shout to my dog, man. Nick Benito, he's one of the league leaders in sacks. I think he's number 3 behind Myles Garrett and Brian Burns. So I think it's Myles Garrett, Brian Burns. Then I think it's Nick Benito. And then I think it's Micah Parsons. As far as the sack leaders, Nick Benito's having a fantastic year. And just like he said, he kind of made the play to seal the game at the end there. Marcus Mariota, he did. He saved his game. Marcus Mariota, they're in the short red zone. They got the running back leaking out into the flat to the left. Marcus Mariota, he's drifting. And he tries to get the ball, just all he's got to do is just get it in the running back's hand. He's going to score, right? But he can't get it over Nick Benito. Nick Benito's on a free rusher. He gets his hands up, deflects the pass, and that ended up being the ball game because that was the ball game. That was the 4th down play, I believe. Yeah, and so that was the ball game. So big play by Nick Benito closing it out for sure. But no, this was a damn good game. And kudos and shout out to these Broncos. And matter of fact, I was just talking to my dog Chop last night, and we talked about not the Broncos, but like I had mentioned how every year there's one of these teams, like the Broncos. And more specifically, when me and my dog Chop was talking, we were talking about that playoff run that Saquon and Daniel Jones went on with the Giants, right? We've seen it before with the Chargers as well. There's a team where, the ball bounces their way in extra time or two in these 50-50 games, right? In these games where it's kind of a coin flip game, the ball bounces the right way for you to get a win. You get the right call at the right time for you to get the win. Like those games. Normally, over the course of the season, okay, here we go, 6-7 for my nephew in case he's watching that. But normally, you know what I mean? Like those kind of back and forth game. Oh, no, you're right. My fault, J2. It was the 2-point conversion. There we go. Yeah, they scored the touchdown. Then they were going for 2 to get the dub. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. Man, hey, boy, you was paying attention, boy. Hey, you was paying attention this weekend, boy. Now, I know I talked to you. Actually, I got to meet J2 Trill, man. He down here in Dallas as well, man. He one of them members. You know what I mean? So I got to meet him, man. We got to we chill for a little bit. But you didn't told me what you like to get into in your personal time. So I can't believe you, boy, you functioning. I can't believe you functioning, and you can remember these style of details. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you for doing so, boy. You probably sitting in a room, a cloud right now. I tell you, boy, it's probably foggy in your room right now. But that boy on point, man, and I appreciate you. Yeah, that's what it was. The 2-point conversion, you show right. And here's the thing about it as well. I love the decision to go for 2. I love the decision to go for 2 in that moment. Well, for one, Washington, well, what do you have to lose? You don't have nothing to lose. And you at the crib, right? And the team you playing, they're a top 1-2 team in the AFC, right? Them and the Patriots have the best record in the AFC. And so, like, you don't want to keep swinging and duking it out, you know, with a team like that, right? You got to capitalize in the moment, especially when you got the momentum in your building at the crib. You know what I mean? And so, like, I respect it. I definitely do. And honestly, I wanted them to get through it, man. I wanted to see them make the play and come back and actually get that victory. You know what I mean? Like I would have loved to see. Just for the story. You know what I mean? I ain't have a dog in the fight, but just for the feel good story, man. See the Commanders and Marcus Mariota find a way to gut that one out. That would have been awesome to see. But also, kudos and congrats to the Broncos, man, for holding course, not dropping their game. This could have been not as good as the Panthers, but the Rams being upset by the Panthers, that could have been the Broncos. We easily could have been talking today about the Washington Commanders going to overtime and upsetting the Denver Broncos. That could have been the story. But instead, the Broncos held on and made those plays. You know what I mean? And so kudos and shout out to them. Kudos and shout out to them for sure. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, the 2-point conversion. Shout out to my dog J2 Trill, man. Yeah, that boy said he locked in, man. I see. And then let me see what we got. Oh, last one, man. Monday Night Football, the Giants on the road at New England. New England gets this done 33-15. Now, we talked about it Sunday. Man, I wanted Jameis to get another crack at this, man. I wanted to see famous Jameis on Monday Night Football, man. Famous is built for prime time. You know what I mean? Famous Jameis is built for prime time, man. We should have gave him one more. But Jackson Dart does return to the starting lineup in this one. The little subtle controversy, I guess, in this game early on as well. Jackson Dart. First off, Jackson Dart, because I'm gonna talk to you, bro. Let me talk to you. Matter of fact, hold on, man. I want you to see me good. I need you to see me good, Jackson Dart. Boy, what the hell's wrong with you, dog? You just got back from a concussion. Wasn't he concussed 2 weeks ago? 3 games ago now? Because Jameis played 2 games, didn't he? Boy, when you just concussed, wasn't you just separated from your consciousness? That's you, right? That's you. Blue tent shorty. You blue tent shorty, bro. You blue tent shorty. You ain't even start. You didn't start the first. It's 13 games played. You didn't start till week 3, right? So what? In 10 games, you've missed or been injured, hurt, or knocked out of for various stretches. What? 4 out of the 10 games you've played? We already saw franchise player Malik Neighbors. He went down in your second series as a starter. He's out for the year. Cam Scatchabo, Cam Scatchabo. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Your rookie running mate. Y'all trying to be the Bash Brothers. We seen his ankle get spun around on TV. The boy's ankle was looking at him. Cam Scatterbo was holding his knee. His ankle was looking at him. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen, personally. But so we seen that as well. So long story short, and like I said, you just got back. So, boy, what are you thinking? And for what? It was a first down scramble. It was first down. He scrambles. He's right there at the line. Get your ass out of bounds, bro. But he's dilly-dallying, being lazy against the line. And Buddy, for the Patriots, he should have smoked you. It's your fault. He should have smoked you, bruh. He should have smoked you. Because you tripping. You deserve that. And then here's the thing about it, though. Jackson Dart, young and dumb as you are as a rookie, so you'll be better. You'll get better. You know what I mean? You'll learn. But boy, what are you thinking? You just got back. They easily could have, that could have ended your season. That could have been your second concussion in a month. And the way he gave you that shot, boy, hey, I wouldn't have been surprised. So yeah, that's on you, man. Yeah, that's on you. That's on you. Derek May, young Jizzy, you feel me? Derek May in the Patriots, he goes for 282 passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Let me see anything else of note. Keyshawn Butte had a receiving touchdown in this one. Ricky Kyle Williams, he had a receiving touchdown in this one as well. And then I think the highlight of this game outside of the hit on Jackson Dart, but Marcus Jones, man. Shout out to Marcus Jones. He had a 94-yard punt return early in this one as well that really kind of set the tone early and gave the Patriots a lot of early momentum. But impressive punt return. Like I said, 94 yards for a touchdown, so kudos there. And then speaking of Jackson Dart, 139 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 20 yards rushing. Derek Singletary had roughly 70 yards and a touchdown in this one as well. And so nothing else of note. And here's the thing about it as well. Hold on, let me get back in my chat. My fault. I had to talk to Jackson Dart for a minute. Now, here's the thing as well that I want to talk about that, Jackson Dart, before I move on, before I forget. So, for one, you got to understand who and what you are to the organization, to the franchise, right? You know what I mean? The franchise player is gone. The other rookie standout player on that team, he's gone. The coach got fired. You know what I mean? There's nobody else. And especially with you just coming back, having had your consciousness separated from you, you've got to be smarter than that. You know what I mean? And then here's the thing about it as well. Your teammates was riding for you. So now you could have got them boys thrown out that game. Was it Theo Johnson, your tight end, number 84? He gets in Buddy face. It could have been a penalty, or worse, he could have. What if he'd have felt so strong about it he threw a hand at him? Now he's fine. Now you cost him money, and he gets thrown out that game. And then one of your O-linemen, I think your center, he came and got involved. Your starting center. Maybe he gets too riled up and throws a punch. He gets fined. Now you're costing him money. Now he's thrown out the game. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to be smarter than that, bruh. Especially now when it's warranted, then yeah, all bets is off, man. If you out of bounds and boy come in, you know what I'm saying, take your head off your shoulders, then yeah, you damn right, man. There better be at least 2 dudes trying to get a piece of. But don't you be dilly-dallying, trying to show us how tough you are. In your post-game comments talking about, man, y'all done seen my game before, man. This how I play. Y'all seen me from college, then y'all whoop-de-whoop. Man, nobody care about that, man. You crazy as hell. Like, yeah, you can't do it. The ramifications of something going wrong far outweigh the 6 inches of yardage that you stayed in town and took that hit for. That's dumb. That's crazy. Rennie said, did I miss you talking about the Ravens game? Did I miss the Ravens game? Rennie, I ain't missed the... No, wait. The Ravens didn't play. Remember, they played Thanksgiving. Yeah, they played Thanksgiving, so they didn't play Sunday. Yeah, they played Thanksgiving, so they didn't play on Sunday. Yeah, you had me think. I was like, wait a minute, how did I miss the Ravens playing? Yeah, let me see. Well, no, see, okay. So Jason Tritt said we acted like the Giants got a good line to protect him, though. Well, see, but this the thing. Like, he didn't take that shot because the line failed. He took that shot because he was foolish. Like, that's not on the line. Like, he booed out and he's scrambling. He was about to pick up a first down. You know what I mean? So, like, and I want to say it was first down. First or second, it wasn't, I don't believe it was third. No, it wasn't third down because they kept the ball after that drive. They kept the ball after the ruckus died down, and still they ball. They had a chance to, still move the ball up the field. So it wasn't like the line, like, blew a block and they let Myles Garrett go untouched and he almost got killed. Like, that's different. Then, yeah, we point the finger at the line at that point. But nah, this one was completely on him, bro. He's got to be smarter than that. He can't be twinkle toeing on the sideline, man. It's 220-pound grown man running 20 miles an hour who want nothing more than to knock your helmet off of your head. You know what I mean? There's 11 guys at all times, and the only thing they thinking about is like, boy, if I catch him, I'm gonna cut him in half. I'm gonna have his back touch his ankles. I'm gonna fold him. You feel what I'm saying? There's 11 guys at all times trying their hardest to fold him. So that was on him. We ain't gonna put that on the old line. You gotta get your silly ass out of bounds, bro. He gotta get out of bounds. That's all on him. That's all on him for sure. Oh man, yeah. I don't even know what we can say about that. I don't even know what we can say about that. That's just a comedy of errors or whatever else it was. But yeah, I don't even know what we can say about that. Matter of fact, they used to have like NFL bloopers or something like that. Like that's one of them. If they still had that, I remember those used to be like a popular highlight. They would always show like a week over week highlight of like the week's biggest blunders or whatever the case. Almost like a Shaqtin' the Fool in the NBA, but for the NFL. What they used to call that segment, man? I think Chris Berman used to run it. But yeah, nah, that's inexcusable. It's hard to give too much credit. It's hard to give too much slack to a kicker anyway. Like, if the kick's not 50 plus, I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. If the kick's not 50 plus, or we're not in torrential downpour, we're not having hurricane-esque gusts of wind, you know what I mean? Other than that, anything inside of 50 is supposed to be automatic, period. You got one job. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to miss the field goal. You can't miss the ball. Hell no. Hell no. But no, that's it. That's all. As far as the recap. And you know what? Hold on, man. I just caught myself. I know I'm tripping. Who plays Thursday night? Who plays tomorrow, Rini? Somebody let me know. Who plays tomorrow? We're gonna do a quick recap of the Thursday game. And then, yeah, man, we'll wind it down unless y'all got something y'all want to talk about. Now, y'all know how it goes. Now, if you got something on your mind, you better drop it in your chat. Drop it in the chat now, man. We'll put it on the board. We'll talk about it. But if you don't drop it now, you got to hold your peace. Ooh, yeah, we talking about this. We got a damn good game tomorrow. Let me get us together real quick. Ooh-wee. And I'm writing it out right now live, and we going to rock with it. I'm writing it out live, and we just going to go with it. There we go. Thursday night, tomorrow night. Now, yeah, we got to talk about this. The Thursday night football preview, man, we got Dallas on the road at Detroit. And I tell y'all right now, because I forgot to get the caption ready for the game, for sure. I'm glad I thought about it. I was about to wind us down. We almost got out of here. We almost got here. We got to talk about this. Thursday, Dallas, red hot, on the road at Detroit. And I won't lie. My first thought, I gave Dallas that dub. 30-27 in a shootout. I gave that to Dallas. I still don't feel great about it. Because now one thing about Dallas, they're not the same team on the road as they are at home. So that big victory against the Chiefs, Thanksgiving night at home, that big victory, come from behind victory against the Eagles, right? At home. You know what I mean? So they're not the same team on the road as they are at home, which is concerning. But now also, Detroit plays in a dome, so it's a racetrack. Terrion Arnold for the Lions, he just got placed on IR. He didn't want no parts of George Pickens or CeeDee Lamb, no way. But he just got, respectfully, he just placed on IR. And I'll tell you what, that Cowboys defense has came a long way, man. Quinnen Williams is playing fantastic football. And so for me, but Jahmyr Gibbs. Y'all know, Jahmyr Gibbs is my favorite player in the league right now, man. Or he's my favorite back for sure. He may be my favorite player in the league right now, offensive player. He may be. I'm not going to lie. He may be right now. And so, is Quinnen Williams going to be able to disrupt that running attack with Jahmyr Gibbs? That's going to be the key to success for me in this one. Because honestly, no, you know what? Because Dallas' secondary isn't great. They are playing a little better now, and I think a lot of that has to do with the production and the play that you're getting for Quinnen Williams up front. Because it all starts up front, man. You know what I mean? Like, everybody can't be locked down for 4 seconds, but most people can be locked down for 2.5. You know what I mean? Because that's what quick pressure does. Quick pressure means you got to guard for 2.5 seconds, cuz. You got 2.5 seconds to stay in somebody's hip. Anything after that is fair game, man. We should have got that. So I do want to see what Quinnen Williams does against this Detroit Lions offensive line. Frank Ragnow, longtime center and captain and leader of this offensive line and this team for the Lions. He's coming out of retirement to rejoin the Lions. Now, I don't know when he's going to, hit the field or not. You know what I mean? I don't know when that's going to happen, but he is coming back. But Quinnen Williams gets the interior of that Lions offensive line. Hey, man, we got action. And then also keep in mind, the rest of those guys are playing so much better now around Quinnen Williams. OC, shout out to my dog, J2 Trio. I'm going to say his name right now. Osa. See, now I put pressure on myself. Osa Diggy Hauser. Right? Osa Diggy Hauser? No. Osa Diggy Zua. OC Diggazua. Yeah, y'all know cut. OC Diggazua, man. Y'all know, buddy. Yeah, he playing real good right now. He's playing a lot better now because he's no longer having to be the focal point of like that defensive line. And so now Quinnen Williams is able to do the heavy lifting, and now it's freeing up guys like OC Diggy Zua, OC Digger how's you? Osa Digger, how are you? All right? Things are being freed up now because of Quinnen Williams. Kenny Clark is also he's played better. I think he was a little cold when he first came over, when it was a direct 1-for-1 replacement for Micah. Yeah, he didn't hit like you wanted it to him because that's not who he is. But now that he gets to play with OC, how you doing? And Quinnen Williams, he's looking better. Jadeveon Clowney, he's having a resurgent year, right? He's had an uptick in his play over these last, let's say, 3 weeks or so. Right? And you still got the youngster and Donovan Ezeraku. You still got him out there. Now, Sam Williams, I'm not the biggest Sam Williams fan, but I won't lie, he's flashing a little bit. And I want to say in that Chiefs game specifically, he didn't bring Patty down, but he had some quality pressures on Pat that made Pat either one, make a miraculous throw, or, force them to get the ball out sooner than he wanted to. So Sam Williams is even coming along. That young cornerback room, Siobhan Reveille. I like Siobhan Reveille. 6'3", like 190 pounds. He came from, I want to say Eastern Carolina, ECU, something like that. I think they wore black and purple. East Carolina, something like that, but very talented prospect. He was super injured in college. He was injured. He started this year on IR or the PUP list. He's coming around, right? So as he continues to develop as well, you still got the Ryan Bland there, who can be hit or miss, but he is a ball hawk if you give him a chance, right? And so also, don't let me forget Logan Wilson, linebacker they brought over from Cincinnati. In the middle of that defense, Demarion Overshawn, making his return after kind of having a bit of a breakout. If you're a Cowboys fan, then Overshawn had a bit of a breakout for you last year before he got injured. Now he's back. He's working himself back from injury as well, but he's coming along. So I think Dallas is just the hotter team right now is what it comes down to. Detroit is still tough. I love Dan Campbell and what he's all about. I love Jahmyr Gibbs. Y'all know how I feel about Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Best back in the league, my favorite back in the league. He's my first or second favorite player in the league right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a big Jahmyr Gibbs fan, right? But Dallas is the hotter team. They really are. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Because I still do think that the Lions in that passing attack, right? Jared Goff, you know what I mean? He still has a chance to do some work in this one as well. You know what I mean? Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta still out there kicking. And then, of course, you got the two-headed tandem with Jahmyr Gibbs. And then you still have David Montgomery as well. You know what I mean? To change the pace, to give you a very viable backup when Gibbs needs a blow. So there's still a lot of weapons on that Detroit team as well. But Detroit's had a couple tough losses, man. The Packers just have their number this year. Packers swept them in their series. And then, they've had a few other tough losses here of late. That loss to the Vikings, that's damn near unforgivable, looking at what we're dealing with the Vikings for sure. But they've had some tough ones. They're not playing necessarily like bad. They're not in a skid, I don't think. But they're not hot, though. Dallas is red hot right now, man. And I think sometimes you got to ride the hot hand. Dallas on the road, short week, right? Short week in Detroit. Ooh, short week on the road that actually worries me too now that I'm thinking about it. Because Dallas has had some pretty back-to-back games. Dallas had a Sunday game against the Eagles. They come back in the fourth quarter, win that game. Then they had the short turnaround and played last Thursday for Thanksgiving against the Chiefs, right? Very impressive win there. And so, Thursday to Thursday. So I guess it's a full week. So it's not necessarily a short Sunday to Thursday turnaround. So it is a full week. So maybe it's not quite the same. Nah, I'm a ride it out. Matter of fact, ain't Rena in here. Rena told me always trust your first instinct. I'm going Dallas 30-27 on the road to get a very big victory against the Detroit Lions. And then also, depending on what we see from these Eagles, that division ain't set yet, man. That division ain't set. I know the Eagles have a 2-game lead on the Cowboys, but the Eagles are having their own mini meltdown as well. And if the Cowboys go win this game in Detroit, all bets is off. All bets may be off. If Dallas goes and gets this victory in Detroit. Matter of fact, J2 Trio, I'm going to tell you right now. If Dallas goes and gets this victory, Detroit on the road, 3 games in like 17 days, then boy, you might have it, man. Y'all might be on to something. J2 Trio said he's not coming out of retirement. He failed his physical. Okay, I didn't see that. And that makes sense. The boy retired. He retired because of health and injury concerns anyway, because he's young. Frank Ragnall's, he's somewhere between 29 and 31. He's young. You know what I mean? So now also we got to keep it track. The mileage matters just as much or more than the year. Just like a car. Car might be 5 years old, but if it's got 15 years worth of mileage, then hey, what's it worth? And so that might be what happened to Frank Ragnow. So man, hey, if that's the case, man, I hate that for him, because the thing about football, man, and the thing about this game is that you got to maximize it. You got to squeeze everything you can out of it, because when it's gone, and you don't get a chance when it's over. When it's gone, it's gone. And so you want, as a player, your goal is always to leave the game on your terms and to feel fulfilled enough that you don't miss it or you don't chase it. Because now he admitted that he still wanted it. He still needs it. He still misses it, but now it's taken away from him. He chose to leave, but now it got taken away this second time. So that makes it even worse, man. So, hey, man, I feel bad for you, Frank. Feel bad for you, dog. Maybe it's for the best, though. Because like I said, he had to retire for a reason, man. He was getting pretty beat up. He had to retire for a reason. Yeah. My dude said, take your time. Yeah, my fault. I was trying hard to say, dude, now he got a weird, it ain't my fault. Blame his name. I'm blaming him, man. I'm blaming you for your name, dog. I'm blaming you, man. That's your fault. Doozy. Deucic? Man, ain't no K in there. Ain't really said Deucic. That looked like he was trying to spell Duce. I'm calling that boy Osa Duce. Hey, matter of fact, Reedy, you might be on to something. Let him do something in this Detroit Lions game. We're going to give him a real nickname. He might be Osa Duce. Osa Duce might be his new name. For sure. It might be his new name. He get a sack and a half against Detroit Lions. We're going to give him a nickname, man. He going to be Osa Duce from now on. Ooh, Eagles still got to play the Bills. Now, here's the thing about that. Now, the Bills beat up on my Steelers, but they still not in a great spot, though. You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be a damn good game because I think this is both two teams that are, they're not struggling, but they're not playing up to their own level. They're not playing to their own level. They're not playing to their own expectations. Two teams that also they've got quality quarterbacks, right? Regardless of what y'all feel about Jalen Hurts, man. Boy won a Super Bowl. He was 2 plays away from winning 2. An MVP in one of those Super Bowls. You know what I mean? Like he's made the plays, man. I'm giving him respect. He's a quality quarterback. Now, is he top 5? No. Is he top 10? Maybe. But he's a top half of the league style quarterback for sure. You know what I mean? So he's not a detriment. That's what I'll say. He's not Mason Rudolph. So I'm going to put some respect on his name. But that Eagles-Bills game, whenever it do happen, that's going to be a good-ass game. Both these teams are going to need that game. Because the Bills are still in the wild card race as well. That AFC wild card is getting pretty thick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's getting pretty tight. So they're going to need that game. And the Eagles are going to need that game because, especially like we said, if the Cowboys keep on with this momentum, let's say the Cowboys roll off 2, 3 more in a row, and let's say the Eagles stumble. Let's say the Cowboys go 3-0 over the next 3 games, and the Eagles go 1-2. That division's upside down now. You know what I mean? So, no, that's a good point. That's a big game. The Eagles aren't home safe at all by any stretch. Yeah, the Eagles, and I know I might have said something else before. It was looking like they might have had too big a lead. No. The Eagles ain't home free at all, so that's a good point. They've got to put their foot back on the gas, especially if Dallas is able to go to Detroit and get a big win tomorrow night for sure. Randy said golf is starving for a turkey leg. So Dak got to break his A game. Hey, that's a good point. That's a good comment. And that's the truth. Jared Goff and those Lions, they are relatively desperate for a win. Like I said, they've dropped a couple here that I mean, you never want to lose, period. You never want to lose to a division rival. And then you never want to get swept by a division rival. Well, all that's happened for Detroit here of late. Swept by the Packers in division, right? They lost to the Panthers. Now, also, we got to put some more respect on the Panthers' name, though. I believe they lost to the Panthers. Forgive me. And I want to say did they lose to the Bears? All right, now I got to know. No, I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to get us distracted. It's the end of the night. I'm not going to look up I'm not going to look at the Lions record right now and keep us here another 45 minutes. I'm not going to do y'all like that. You see, I'm not going to do y'all like that. But Rainey's right? The Lions are feeling that desperation, man, because they're going to get squeezed out. They may get squeezed out. They got swept by the Packers, and the Bears are the number 1 team in that division right now, right? So the Lions are in a dire situation here. They're on the verge of getting squeezed out. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. This is a big game for these Lions. And just like you said, Dak and those Cowboys, they're hot, they're rolling, but they don't They haven't shown that they can be that same team that gets hot and just looks like they can just march up and down the field. They haven't shown that they could be that team on the road. And definitely not on the road against a quality opponent. So this is a big measuring stick game for the Cowboys as well. Yeah, this is going to be a fantastic game. This is going to be a fantastic game. I'm going to ride with my dog, J2 Trio. All right, I'm going to ride with your Cowboys and your boy, Osa Diggy. How's you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to ride with your dog. And I'm going to give y'all a chance to show me that y'all for real, man. This is the one. I need y'all to show me y'all for real. J2 Trill said, check that Lions injury report. Damn, who else? I know Terry and Arnold went to IR. Frank Ragnow, you told me he failed his physical, so he's not coming back. You know what I mean? Who else is out? I'm trying to think who else is out. Amon-Ra's not out. J-Mo's not out. Jahmyr Gibbs ain't out. I mean, those are the pieces now. Those are the guys I need. Now, I don't know on defense who or what else they may have out, which is fair. So I'm not sure. Now, all right, see, look, I was trying not to keep y'all here all night. Y'all blame J2 Trill, man. All right? If y'all running late to get your kids in bed and wind down, blame J2 Trill, because now I got to pull up the line. Now I got to pull up the injury report. And see what's going on. Where's the injury report? I got all this betting information now that I didn't ask for. Bleacher Report. Where is the injury report, bro? Goodness gracious. All right. Bleacher Report doing too much, man. Bleacher Report don't even have the injury report readily accessible. They don't have it readily accessible like they generally do, unless they just moved it around and I'm not finding it. I don't know what's going on right now, but I can't find the Bleacher Report or the injury report. Instead, I've got all these ads, spread, boom, boom, boom. I've got all of that I didn't ask you for. I don't have the injury report. All right, man. All right, Bleacher Report. That's cool. That's what I get for still using y'all, because y'all done fell off. That's what I get for still using y'all, because y'all done fell off. But no, hey, other than that, I think that's it, that's all. That's all for real this time. Because, yeah, we definitely had to get that Thursday night game in for sure. So, hey, I do appreciate y'all rocking with your dog. Y'all know what's going on. Before we get out of here, whoa! Hold on, man. Wait, are they questionable or are they out? Yo, are they questionable or are they out? Because if they out, man, yeah, that's rough. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, and Kirby Joseph, man, that's rough. I thought Kirby Joseph was Defensive Player of the Year last year, personally. I had Kirby Joseph as my Defensive Player of the Year. All the injuries on that Lions defense last year, he led the league in interceptions. I think he had 8 picks. Everybody on that defense was beat up. And then the guys that they brought in to replace the guys who were hurt, those guys got hurt. You know what I mean? And Kirby Joseph was the one steadying force on that defense, and he kept them in a lot of games, man, especially turning over the ball and giving the ball back to that offense. But, man, he may be out. Terry and Arnold's already on injury reserve. Dang. Okay. And then he said Amon-Ra and Penei Sewell are questionable and Kirby's out. So that's yeah. I'm saying, yeah. I feel better about your Cowboys now. Because that means they down 2. They down 2 in that secondary. Terry and Arnold's already on IR, and now Kirby Joseph is out. That's 2 of the starting 4. Or realistically 2 of the starting 5. Because everybody's in nickel these days. You feel what I'm saying? But those are big pieces. Those are big pieces. So no, this shapes up for a potential shootout. Because if the Lions are able to get it going on offense, because that Cowboys defense has been susceptible right over the bulk of the year. Now they are playing a different caliber of defense right now with the new additions, Quentin Williams namely. They are playing different. But let's say if they fall back into those old ways and this turns into a shootout, then yeah, there could be some fireworks in this one tomorrow night. Yeah, that's gonna be a good game tomorrow night, man. Come on, man. Brian Branch is questionable too. Kirby Joseph's out. Terrion Arnold's out. Brian Branch is questionable. So 3 of the main 5 may be out. Yo. All right, yeah. Cowboys. Dak. All right, hey, J2 Trill, you know what you just did, though? Y'all can't lose this game now. Y'all have no excuse for losing this game now. Y'all lose this game, and the Lions are playing half their backup defense, and you got Dak Prescott, George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb. Javonte Williams is running the ball good. You know what I mean? Y'all can't lose this game now, bruh. Now y'all can't lose. Y'all cannot lose this game. I'm not going to allow it. If y'all lose this game and the Lions are going to be possibly without 7 starters, and these are quality starters, Pro Bowl starters, All-Pro starters. Penei Sewell's an All-Pro. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a Pro Bowler. Kirby Joseph is a Pro Bowler. He should be an All-Pro. He's a Pro Bowler. Terrion Arnold, he's a young guy, but he's making a name for himself. He's out. Like, bro. Yeah, y'all ain't got no excuses. I don't want to hear it. Y'all lose this one. I don't want to hear it. J2 Trill said he ain't tripping. He got 100% faith in his boys. As you should, my boy. As you should. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and wind it down, man. We're going to wind it down. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for that real member roll call before we get out of here. Shout out to all them members in the building. First one through the door today was Rennie. I appreciate you as always. My dog Miles, man, Pretty Tony the Painter, man, in the building as well. I appreciate you. Matter of fact, one more time, man. Shout out to my dog Miles, man. That's Pretty Tony the Barber. Or excuse me, not the Barber. Pretty Tony the Painter. Pretty Tony the Painter, man. He's based out of Metro Atlanta, but it's 2025. I say the same thing every week. He can get to you, man. Planes, trains, and automobiles. It's 2025. From Atlanta, we can get to you just about anywhere, man. So tap in, man, across all social medias. I think it's Prospect, Precision Painting, all social medias, man. Holla at my dog and see what them estimates talking about for sure. For sure. Appreciate your homeboy as always. Day one game, Jarrell, man, slid this thing. I appreciate you, big dog. And he said him and the old lady, they just snuck out. They're going to have a little drinky drink. Or no, excuse me. They're going out to dinner. You know what I mean? Hopefully they had a little drinky drink. Enjoy yourselves. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you stopping by as always, big dog, for sure. Sisters in the building as well. So what's going on to the people? And then, man, my dog, man, J2 Trill in here holding it down real heavy for his Cowboys, man. I appreciate you as always, big dog. Man, look, Mom Dukes is in the building as well. Hey, they said, hey, she was wore out today, man. She said, good morning, everybody. But she was wore out. Have a blessed show as always. You know, I appreciate that. And then let me see, man, the rest of y'all, I'm looking. Hold on. I thought I found one of y'all. I was trying to find you before it was too late. I tried my hardest. Damn. We say the same thing every week. Feel free to say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, for real, damn, my bad. But charge it to my head and don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about you, big dog. Appreciate all the love support as always, man. Appreciate y'all getting in here, hopping in, chopping it up with your dog. Man, y'all know what's going on, man. We will be right back. Sunday morning, man. The Sunday Fun Day morning football preview show, man. Tell your friend to tell your friend about it, man. Tap in with us on Sunday morning. We'll preview all this coming week's slate of games for sure. A lot of good matchups coming up. Can't wait to talk about them. Tap in with your dog Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Other than that, y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Kiss the wife and kids good night for me, man. Have a cold adult beverage on me if you're into that sort of thing. And until Sunday, I'll see y'all then. Peace.